Hello everyone, this is Clinton Kowach, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about, well, the rapture. It's amazing to watch all of these people all over YouTube talking about, like this date's going to happen, and this is when the rapture is going to occur, and trying to calculate everything based off of, whatever book they've read or whatever movie they've seen or whatever, thing that happened in their life, toilet paper fell over and landed on the number 13, which means that that's going to cause the rapture, and all these things that are just absolutely insane. Instead of just actually looking at what Scripture says. Jesus himself in Matthew 24 said that, immediately after the tribulation of those times. When you look at Revelation chapter 19 through 21, you see it talks about the first resurrection. It doesn't talk about those taken up in heaven and rejoicing during the bride's wedding at the time of the tribulation. It doesn't talk about that. Instead, Scripture actually indicates that we are going to go through the tribulation, that we need to be ready, and we need to endure, and we need to be strong. It talks about the patience of the saints, and even the opening of the seals. It talks about a massive multitude that is waiting as others are to be killed as they were. It doesn't say that they were taken up in the rapture and waiting up there as they're rejoicing for everyone else to be killed. No. It said that they were killed. It said that they were killed on behalf of Christ, on his belief and standing up for his name. It doesn't give any indication that there's a pre-tribulation rapture. People sit there and indicate, that they go off of the verse that says, that in twinkling of an eye they'll be taken up, or that they will be, avoid God's wrath. Well, yeah, in the twinkling of an eye, when the new heaven and the earth pass away, all will be taken up to heaven and all will be judged. That is true, but that is not in the beginning. Timing is always the issue with people that talk about the pre-tribulation rapture, because they cannot prove at all that it happens before. They give indications that Enoch was taken, or that Elijah was taken, and that's the reason that the rapture happens, or that John was taken up to show him the vision. Those are just specific individuals that were taken up, and many indicate that the two witnesses may be those that were taken prior. It doesn't say that the rapture occurs and that the rest of us are taken up. Others say, well, there's no church mentioned in Revelations. Yeah, there is. It talks about those that die for the message of Jesus. That is the church. That is not the tribulation saints. That is the church. That is those here on earth. I personally think that's more of an arrogant stance to believe that us in modern society, in this day and age of evil and wickedness, that we are actually worthy to be taken, when many before us were thrown into pits, were thrown into the Colosseum, were torn limb from limb, were beheaded, were killed for even having a Bible. All of those that went through that were way more worthy than we are today. So it's arrogant for us to think that we should be taken and saved when they weren't. But yet they are an example of what we need to do. That we are here to endure, that we are here to be strong. That we are here to be a message and a light to those that see and know what is going on. When the tribulation occurs, there'll be so many that lose their faith. It talks about, the mass deception that will occur. And it talks about those that will lose their faith and that they will, turning away from the gospel. So it's important for us to actually stand strong and to be there as a light for them, to show them the way, to help with the massive revival, which it also talks about as well. To be God's warriors. Not to just think that we're entitled enough to leave and to be taken away. Well, God is going to avenge, his wrath on everyone else. No. We are all subject to death. We have all sinned, and the punishment for sin is death. That means all of us will die, except for those at the very end, when everything has been finished. Those in a twinkling of an eye, yeah, they'll be taken up at the same time as those that are dead. You know, people talk about the verse that says, well, the dead shall rise first, and then those of us will be caught up in the air. Okay? So the dead rises first, and then we're caught up. It doesn't give any indication that that happens before the tribulation. It doesn't give any indication when that occurs. It just says that the dead will rise first. And if we know anything about what prophecy unveils and what Revelation unveils, the majority of mankind will die during the tribulation. So yeah, the majority of mankind will rise before the remnant, before the small minority that is still on earth is risen up. That is how it's designed. You know, I try to explain everything to people. I write articles down, I write books to try to explain to people that the pre-tribulation rapture is false. That it is, you know, just a gospel being taught to itching ears, just the same as the prosperity gospel. You know, those that don't want to do their study, that don't want to understand what's truly going on, they just listen to people that will tell them whatever they want to hear. And they'll believe it, instead of actually reading the word and doing their studies and determining exactly what it says. Because it's very clear that the pre-tribulation rapture is false, that it does not exist, that it is make-believe. And if you want to sit there and spend all of your time trying to look at, you know, what this movie says that the rapture is going to occur on this date, or, you know, it can happen at any time, well, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your message. You're wasting the reason that you actually can see. And you're losing your ability to see because you're wasting all of your time to try to prove something that doesn't exist. Why don't you actually help and actually see what's going on and see what prophecies are fulfilling and coming to pass, instead of just trying to prove that you are going to be glorious enough to be taken away, that you are special, because you're not. None of us are. None of us are special. We're all in the same boat. We're all subject to death. We're all subject to sin because we've all sinned. And no sin is greater than the other. So everyone, I hope that you'll actually listen to this message and that you'll do your studies and find out the truth. Everyone, also check out my website, clintoncoach.com. I've written articles about this. And also my website. And also my Twitter, @ClintonCoach. Thank you very much.